Sudan is facing yet another devastating blow. In late August, a massive landslide buried the remote village of Tarasin in Darfur's Mara Mountains, killing up to 1,000 people. Now, authorities and aid agencies struggle to reach survivors amid ongoing conflict, displacement, famine, and disease. Can Sudan survive another humanitarian crisis? Join us as we uncover the latest updates from Sudan and how its people are trying to survive. The latest blow came on August 31st, 2025, when a catastrophic landslide completely obliterated the remote village of Tarasin, which is located in the Mara Mountains of central Darfur, western Sudan. The disaster happened after several days of heavy rainfall, which destabilized the volcanic slopes surrounding the settlement. According to the Sudan Liberation Movement, Zashid's army, which controls the area, about 1,000 villagers perished in this landslide, and only one survivor was found. The survivor is still comatose, with multiple fractures and a severe head injury. As of September 4th, rescue and recovery efforts, which were coordinated by local civil authorities, had retrieved and buried 370 bodies. This devastating landslide caused many victims to remain under debris or be swept away by floodwaters. Access to the site remains highly limited, as aid workers need to reach the area on foot or by donkey across the mountain terrain, exceeding 3,000 meters in elevation. This has made it difficult to find any possible survivors, reclaim the bodies of the victims, and also provide aid. In fact, the UN has revealed that they can't provide as much help as they would have wished due to how remote the region is and the ongoing civil war. This has blocked humanitarian access and communications. The landslide adds to Sudan's building humanitarian crisis since the civil conflict that displaced millions, leading to food insecurity and disease across the country. But not all of Sudan's problems are man-made. Aside from the landslide, its people are dealing with many other flooding emergencies. From 2024 till now, across multiple regions in Sudan, the rainy season is literally causing the country to collapse further. It's leading to displacement, infrastructure collapse, and health emergencies. In North Korfadan's Rahad locality, heavy rains caused about 550 people to be displaced, and it damaged or destroyed over 170 homes. These floods forced families to leave their homes, and this was tough for these communities that were already vulnerable. And then there was Kassala State, which experienced severe flooding, especially at the Garb Almatar displacement site. This caused over 6,000 displaced people to end up with their tents submerged. The flooding also left these families exposed to cold, hunger, and unhygienic conditions, increasing the risk of disease spreading. What's more, 3,325 individuals were displaced, and 665 homes destroyed in these rural communities, causing all these villages to be isolated from the rest of the world. But it's not only flooding that's affecting the people of Sudan. Port Sudan, which is a hub for millions of internally displaced people, is dealing with a deadly combination of extreme heat and prolonged power outages. Temperatures went above 116 degrees Fahrenheit and caused over 50 reported sunstroke cases and at least 3 confirmed deaths. The government had to provide emergency cooling centers, but health facilities are under a lot of pressure. All of these crises are coming at the same time, and Sudan hasn't even recovered from what happened the previous year. The Arbat Dam collapse happened a year ago and triggered a catastrophic humanitarian crisis. Due to severe rainfall and poor maintenance, there was widespread flooding. At least 148 people were killed and over 170 were injured. Till now, there are still about 200 people missing because of this flood. The floodwaters destroyed or damaged homes of about 50,000 people across 20 villages. What's more, critical infrastructure was damaged, with over 80 boreholes collapsing, 70 schools damaged, and 10,000 livestock lost. It triggered an urgent water crisis and increased the health risks from contaminated water, including potential cholera outbreaks. From the dam collapsing till the landslide that recently occurred, Sudan is dealing with a shocking crisis. These natural disasters are worsening the humanitarian crisis in the country. It's difficult to provide aid and support while dealing with other issues like attacks on civilians, food security crises, and a non-functional health system. Sudan has been struggling with regional conflicts for a long time, and this year, The attacks on civilians and aid workers are even worse. For instance, in January 2025, the Saudi Maternal Teaching Hospital in El Fasher, one of the few remaining functional hospitals in the city, dealt with a drone attack. This led to 70 deaths. The assault attracted a lot of condemnation from the World Health Organization and international observers, who called it among the deadliest attacks on a healthcare facility since the humanitarian conflict in Sudan began. Then, a few months later in April, the Zamzam displacement camp in North Darfur, which shelters hundreds of thousands of internally displaced people, came under a coordinated attack. At least 100 civilians were killed, including 9 aid workers from Relief International. The assault targeted different infrastructure and worsened the humanitarian conditions in the camp. But that wasn't the end. In June 2025, the Al-Mujlad Hospital in West Kordofan, which is near the front lines between the Sudanese armed forces and the RSF, was bombed. This strike claimed over 40 lives, including at least 6 children and 5 health workers. UNICEF has called El Fasher the epicenter of child suffering, which is enough proof of how bad the humanitarian crisis in Sudan has gotten. Over 6,000 children are malnourished in this city alone, and many civilians are struggling due to the collapsing agriculture and food security crisis. According to a recent CARE study which surveyed 492 million smallholder farmers across East Darfur, South Darfur, and South Kordofan, Sudan's agricultural sector has already collapsed. 89% of the respondents revealed that their productivity has declined, and 56% said that they could not safely harvest their crops due to violence and insecurity. Displacement and conflict are affecting farm-level production. Throughout Sudan, the food security outlook is dire. Over 30 million people, about 2/3 of Sudan's population, now require humanitarian aid. Famine has already been confirmed in several regions like North Darfur and the Nuba Mountains. The crisis has reached even the most remote areas. Over 24.6 million people are facing high levels of acute food insecurity, including over 8 million in emergency and over 635,000 in catastrophic conditions. Famine risks are expected to expand throughout the country soon. With all the floods and famine, Sudan is facing another crisis, which is the outbreak of diseases and the collapse of the healthcare system. Its people can't even access medicine or proper healthcare, and all the flooding has led to an outbreak of cholera. Mediated talks between Israel and Syria, looking for ways to solve the issue in Suwaida and create a demilitarized zone. As regional unrest and clashes continue in southern Syria, the U.S. has brought Israel and Syria to the table to talk about the humanitarian situation. By August 2025, the country had recorded about 382,718 cholera cases and 4,478 deaths. Sudan is struggling to handle this public health emergency as cholera spreads across multiple states. The outbreak spans across states like Khartoum, Kassala, and Al Jazeera, especially in vulnerable communities and displacement camps. Health organizations are calling this the worst cholera outbreak Sudan has seen in years. If you step into a medical facility in Sudan, you might even see patients being treated on the floors due to lack of capacity. Drinking water is badly contaminated, with some even having human remains. The cholera epidemic is worsened by the near-total collapse of Sudan's healthcare system. Only about 16% of hospitals and primary health centers in Sudan remain functional. In the conflict areas, over 80% of health facilities closed down, so most civilians can't even access medical care. Even ambulances and pharmacies have shut down or can barely work. Violent attacks against health infrastructure have increased, leading to hundreds of casualties among healthcare personnel. Sudan currently lacks food, clean water, and medicine. Now, the country can't respond to the escalating flooding crisis, especially since their entire infrastructure has collapsed. Heavy rains and floods have been affecting many areas in Sudan. Although the Health Ministry's Emergency Committee has held coordination meetings with government sectors and aid partners, they have limited supplies and poor infrastructure, affecting their response. What's more, local NGOs and international agencies are stepping in to solve the issues that Sudan can't. World Vision has equipped different regions with land cruisers for flood assessment, and is implementing water, sanitation, and hygiene health projects. It is also fixing the damaged school facilities. The ICRC is also working with Sudan to distribute essential supplies to the thousands that have been affected by the flood, who has deployed emergency medical resources and mobile clinics across the country. Although there are different organizations trying to help Sudan to handle the humanitarian crisis, it's difficult to provide help. The flood has completely damaged the roads and logistical corridors, making it hard for both the government and other actors to reach the affected communities. Relief supplies remain delayed or stranded due to the blocked routes. What's more, aid workers are among the victims of airstrikes, making it difficult for anyone to go to Sudan and provide help. Still, it doesn't stop them from trying. The UN has announced a $6 billion humanitarian appeal, including $4.2 billion for inside Sudan and $1.8 billion for the refugees, aimed at about 26 million vulnerable people. The EU has also pledged €522 million to provide food, water, medicine, shelter, protection, and education to the people of Sudan. Children are the most affected in Sudan today. As of April 2025, 15 million children in Sudan need humanitarian assistance, and this is double the number from early 2023. UNICEF is asking for $1 billion, and only $266 million has been received. To solve the humanitarian crisis in Sudan, UNICEF has provided over 2.6 million vaccine doses to over 147,000 children. Also, 1.2 million people have been provided with safe water to slow the spread of cholera. It established safe learning spaces and educational infrastructure for about 20,000 children. About 270,000 children under 5 have also been screened for acute malnutrition, although only over 100,000 have received treatment so far. But the latest crisis in Sudan can't be solved overnight. In the Zamzam displacement camp, which is home to over 500,000 people, no one can send aid because of the escalating violence. That includes the halted operations by the World Food Program and Doctors Without Borders. The WFP is facing a $698 million shortfall, so it is reducing the food rations to 70% in famine zones and 50% in high-risk areas. Sudan is standing at a crossroads today. Torrential rains have unleashed deadly floods and landslides across the country, while a civil war is eroding vital infrastructure and displacing millions. Residents are stuck with shattered homes, with no water, power, or medical care. In the end, Sudan is in desperate need of renewal. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe to stay up to date on global military events.